Hey guys, this is just a side note. I know we've disappeared somewhat on the YouTube scene. But the reason why is because we've been busy. Really, that's all there is to it. We've been busy, and our equipment has been giving us so much trouble. And we would love to get better equipment, but right now it's just not in the books. If we started a Patreon page or a Patreon, would you sign up? Who knows? That would help us get equipment. But in any case, the reason this Ganache is good. The reason we've been we've not been posting as much is because we've been busy. I've been working on my keto coaching, getting certified as a keto coach, and I'm working on becoming an integrative health practitioner through the IHP course with Dr. Cabral. And that's not this is not sponsored, it's just what it is. And then my next step is nutritional therapy through the NTA, the Nutritional Therapy Association. So my hands are full with things that I'm trying to get done. And even though we've not posted in a bit and things have kind of changed a little, it doesn't mean that I don't care about y'all, because I do. And the fact is, I'm trying to learn more so I can do better, so I can share more with you and help you more. Because I just feel like there's too much that I can share, and I want to make sure I'm giving you the correct information. I mean, do I look like Thomas DeLauer to you? He is science. Kapow! Science. I love Thomas DeLauer. He is my mentor. I learned very much from Thomas DeLauer. So that's why. And I want to be able to share and be able to educate you all too as well. And I know some of you don't want to be educated, you just want to watch a cooking show. But that's what it is, folks. That's what it is. Now check out this recipe right here. Actually, right here, where you see me making a quick donut. It's a little microwave donut. It's delicious. It's cinnamon. Oh, you're going to love it. So for those of you who are feeling like, I didn't get it, I can't have a donut, or I don't have a donut hole or a pan, why not do it that way? So that's the reason why we love you guys. We are here. We've not forgotten you. We're coming up with bigger and better content. And yeah, we're all alive. All of us.
Regarding the time that we took to post, we actually wanted to make our comeback on the 1st of May, I think it was, but we had some technical problems. Editing software wasn't the best, and our computer had run out of space. So we're gonna have a bit of trouble still, I think, but we'll figure it out. And there's Papa. He is alive as well.
Yes, and he will figure everything out.
Yes, he always does.
He's an out figurer.
Okay, bye!
Bye, doei.
Hi guys, welcome to Lucky Stove.
Okay,
Hi guys, I'm Danielle.
so I'm Ren. I'm the Papa.
Hi guys, and welcome.
Stove.
Hey guys, and welcome back to welcome to the Lucky Stove. And yeah.
Just stop.
Come on, friends.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Lucky Stove. I'm Danielle, and today we are doing a long-awaited request from my niece, Journey Perney. Yes, Journey Perney. It is party donuts. Now, she wanted all kinds of sprinkles and everything, but I mean, you can get sugar-free sprinkles from the Sprinkle Company, I'm sure, and a few other places, but I did not order those. What I did do is a while back, I decided that we were going to try to make sprinkles. So we made sprinkles with we colored the erythritol. Can you see it? Oh well, I'll show you in a little bit. Oh, here we go. We colored some erythritol with some coloring. If you're a purist and you think that food coloring is horrible for your body, don't use it. Okay? And here's an orange one. And of course, you don't even have to use those. You can always use chopped hazelnuts. or shredded coconut. So we're gonna go with the chopped hazelnut with the oh my goodness, with a brown butter glaze. Okay, this is gonna be so delicious. So let's get started. Okay guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with some almond flour. Now you know that I love DONUTS and shop because I can get a kilo of it for like very cheap. This is extra fine almond flour, and always make sure that you check the carb count on it. Okay, check the carb count when you buy your almond flour, your coconut flour, whatever, because they all have different values, and it may be 1 off, 2 off, or 3 off, but you want to make sure that you can at least do that and you can make proper counts. Now, I always tell you to use your scale, but today I'm going to use measuring cups, and it's not because I'm trying to spruce things up, it's because my battery died on the scale, and it's Sunday, so the stores are closed. What am I going to do? Okay, so I am going to use, here, let me fill this. If you're going to do it, give it a good shake off. So here's half a cup. I'm going to use 1.5 cups of almond flour. I'm going to use let me see here, a tablespoon. Usually a tablespoon comes to about 15 grams. I'm going to break this up a little bit. A tablespoon of coconut flour. I'm going to make that 2 tablespoons. This is for adhesion, guys. Almond flour and coconut flour work very well together. Almond flour by itself is very dry, and you have to add a lot of moisture. Okay, for 1/4 cup of coconut flour, for example, you would need to use 2 eggs. So for every 1/4 cup, it's 2 eggs. I'm not about that life. I like to use, first of all, if you know me, you know I don't like to waste eggs on just ingredients that you don't get to eat. If it's an omelet, that's something different. But if it's something that's hidden into the ingredients and you don't really get to enjoy it, then for me it's kind of like, why? But that's what that is. So, coconut flour, very dry, keep that in mind. I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That's pink Himalayan salt. Make sure that you use the pink Himalayan salt. It's got lots of minerals in it. Otherwise, you can use Redmond's. I don't know anything about Redmond's, but I hear lots of good things about Redmond's real salt. I'm going to use a teaspoon of baking powder. There we go. That's it for the dry ingredients, so I'll be right back with the rest after I mix this. Alright, so I did neglect to mention my xylitol that I'm using. I powdered it. So here's the xylitol that I powdered. And if you have a measuring spoon, I suggest you use it. But honestly, you know me, I go by sweetness. Now, xylitol is 70% as sweet as sugar. So keep that in mind. If it looks like I'm using a lot, I probably am. But at the same time, it's only as 70% as sweet as sugar. So it's not going to be as sweet as, you know, erythritol or my erythritol stevia mix that you know that I love to use. So now, I'm just going to add all the wet ingredients and I'll tell you what they are, okay? So, get this. It's 50 milliliters. I have my coconut oil here. I have vanilla extract. And I'm going to give that another whoosh. I'm going to add all 50 milliliters of my coconut oil. And that's about 2 to 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So, I'm going to break this up so that way the powder, normally you can sift it. And I would suggest sifting your powder, especially if you have clumps like this. Otherwise, you need to go in really well and smash it. Which is what I'm doing right now. Okay. Now, I have my 50 milliliters. Sorry, guys, I don't know what 50 milliliters is. I'm going to call that a 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup, 1/8 of a cup of coconut oil. That's going in. An egg, which I forgot to mention. 1 egg. And I'll mix that up. And you're thinking, hey, aren't you forgetting the liquid? No, not yet. I want to make sure this is well combined first before I add the liquid. Because if you remember how I go, I'm usually hardcore on the liquids. And then I am too liquidy.
Bubbles, ain't I? Goodness. Oh, no, wait, I was looking at the bubbles and I was not looking at the amount of the scale. So we're at 434.
With my ingredients. So, we want this to be like a muffin batter and not like a cake batter. Even though this is more of a cake type, this is a cake donut. So this is what we're doing here. We're gonna get this all well combined. And then once it's well combined, I'll add water. Just for the heck of it. To make it slightly mixable. Be right back. Alright, so I've got my filk here. If you remember anything about my filk, I talk about that often enough. It is fake milk. Because if you remember, we don't drink regular milk because milk has lactose in it, and lactose is a sugar. So we don't use that because that's high in carbohydrates. Instead, we use heavy whipping cream. But I don't want the thickness of the heavy whipping cream, so I water it down with water. I water it down with water. So, so a good ratio for filk is 400 milliliters of water to 100 milliliters of heavy whipping cream. That's a good ratio. So, and if you want to see me making filk, you can always go to the oh look, I got a blender for my birthday video from Journey. Thank you, Journey and the girls. Journey, Callie, Aubrey. And so there's that. Now this is really well mixed. I poured it all in there. And that was half a cup. That was half a dry measuring cup. So there's that. And of course, whenever you know how I feel about this, whenever you make a batter, you need to do what? I know what you're gonna say. You can't taste it. The batter is not good for you. You can't eat raw batter. I'm gonna eat the raw batter and I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna do you a service. Okay, so again. Yes. That is where it needs to be. So, aren't you glad I did that? And it is perfect. And you know how I say about perfect. Oh, it's perfect, perfect. That means you need to add more sweetener. But because we're going to make a glaze to go over it, it really is perfect. And we're not going to add any more sweetener. So now I'm just going to oil my donut pan that I have here. My Wilton donut pan that Hubby Bubby bought for me some time ago. I'm going to oil that with some coconut oil. You can also oil it with some butter. And then you just put your batter in the well. Batter in the well, batter in the well, batter in a deep dark well. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got some melted coconut here, coconut oil. Remember, coconut oil is your best friend. Not only is it great for frying, but it also is great for adding into your coffee. Coffee? Yes, adding it into your coffee. It's great for that, to give you the, it gives you the fat that you need so that you can keep going without having to buy MCT oil. You do not have to buy MCT oil. Is it helpful? Yeah. Is it necessary? Nah. And if you get the right coconut oil for you, you will find that it has no flavor. Like this has no, it doesn't taste sweet. And so, I mean, that's a plus. The coconut oil, the coconut flour that I added into here is not sweet either. So, now that that's oiled, and by the way, guys, I did say that I'm using xylitol, but if you have animals at home, furry animals, my suggestion is that you don't, that you use an erythritol or or a swerve or what have you. Don't use don't use xylitol. It's not safe for the animals. So I'm just gonna pack this in because really I want fluffy big donuts, but I want at least 6 of them. So I'm just going to gently do this. They'll spread on their own, so I don't really need to do much spreading. And then I'm gonna do it.
And the old Tappa Tappa.
Thank you, John from Food Wishes, and we'll get this party started. So I'll be back to you once the last one is filled. So I'm in the last one. Actually, I filled the last one, but I'm going back now just to give them some oomph, some extra oomph. And then I'm gonna tap it out. I'm not gonna tap out because I'm a fighter. I will tap them out like this. See? Awesome. And where they didn't, that's of course to break up air bubbles. If you didn't know, now you know. But that's to break up air bubbles. And now I'm going to smooth them out just a little bit. I know I said I wasn't going to, but now one more tap. I know that was more than one, but I meant for this time. And I'm going to put it in the oven. The oven is preset at 300 and, well, for you all, if you're using Fahrenheit, it's at 350. You'll do it until the tops spring back, or 10 to 15 minutes, depending. I have a Celsius convection oven, so mine is at 175, and I will do the same 10 to 15 minutes or until it springs back to the touch. And then, while these are baking, we're gonna work on the brown butter. Actually, we're gonna work on the brown butter about 5 minutes before we pull them out. So we can do it at the same time. Okay? Okay guys, now we are ready to brown the butter. We have 50 grams. I know I told you I would tell you the numbers, but I don't know. I'll have to check it out on Google and then write it down for you what 50 grams is. We're gonna brown the butter, and the point is to get it brown, but not so brown that it burns. You just want it brown enough where you start seeing the flecks in the butter turning brown. So you need a saucepan, obviously. The point of this is to brown it and then to add some xylitol to it to sweeten it up so it can be a nice glaze. So that's what we're doing here. You don't want the fire too high, medium low. That'll be sufficient. And then don't burn yourself. That's also nice, right? Not burning yourself is also nice. Alright, so we're going to let this get brown. I'll come back to you once we start seeing the brown flecks, which could happen quickly, so you yourself do not leave the pot. Alright, so it is sufficiently browned. You see, and if you leave it, it will burn. You don't want burnt butter, you want brown butter. So now, this is where you add in your sweetener. You turn off the fire. Turn off the fire and add your sweetener of choice. Again, I have to warn you, waarschuwen, that you don't use xylitol if you have animals, if you have furry animals. Your furry friends will not appreciate it. It's toxic. Okay, so now I'm just mixing. And that's what you're gonna do with your swerve, or your monk fruit, or your powdered xylitol. Whatever you're doing, that's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna add a little bit more, and I may add a pinch of xanthan gum, but most likely not. This is what you can also use if you want syrup for your pancakes. Brown butter syrup. So I'll be back. This is a bit much. The bad thing about eating sweets on keto, first of all, you should wait a substantial amount of time, at least 3 months, so that way you know for sure that you're fat adapted. Fat adaptation sometimes comes within 6 months time, but that's up to you. But I wouldn't necessarily start implementing sweets into your keto diet journey, not so soon. But all of that is just to say, the bad thing about making sweeteners or making sweet treats is that you stoke your cravings for more sweets. So, if you are not ready, if you have not arrived, then I do not suggest starting to make sweets just yet. Wait a while, it's okay. And if you can't wait, well then you can't wait, but just know that you're gonna give yourself more of a struggle. And if you're okay with that, then I'm pretty sure, and you can handle it, you gotta be able to handle it. It's psychological. Okay, so we're adding a little bit of cacao powder. And really for the main reason that I added too much butter, You could get away with a tablespoon of butter, about 15 grams to melt to make your brown butter, but I didn't. I made 50. So that makes a difference. But because I added so much sweetener anyway, I couldn't thicken it up with any more sweetener. So the smart one in the house said, why don't you add cacao powder? Then you have a chocolate sauce that the donuts could be dipped in, and it's thicker. You see, there's always a remedy, guys. If you have cacao powder at home, you can use that, and it was going to be delicious. And if not, you can, well, if you don't want to use it for that and you have cacao powder, you can always put a tablespoon or so in your coffee. Yummy, yummy. So I'm just going to mix this up. I'm going to continue to sift this in. Forgive the noise. And that's only because cacao powder is notorious for clumps. So, okay, now it looks like something that we can dip our donuts into. And we gotta let the donuts cool, because if you don't let them cool, what happens is they break apart. And a splash of heavy whipping cream to make it ganache style. Now, this is either going to split it or it's going to make it awesome. If you mix well, I'm not a chocolatier, folks. So if you mix well, then it should work out just fine. See you on the other side. Okay, so this is well mixed. I'm going to take it over to the donuts so we can dip them and then sprinkle them with some hazelnuts. Okay, so we're removing these now. If you don't let them cool completely, then they will break. It's just what it is. These are not like regular donuts or like regular flour, like such as this one. This one broke up. And it's okay, because then you can just use it later as a testing, donut bites. Or at least that's what you can tell the person you give it to. Or it's the chef's delight. So, see? Not all of them are going to break apart, but at the same time, you don't want them to either. So, be gentle with them, let them cool, and make sure you loosen them around the sides before you even try to get them out. Alright, so I'm excited. Now we have the ganache ready. And instead of trying to dip them, I don't want to be a coward, but I'm not going to be a hero. Instead of trying to dip them, we are going to drizzle them. And we have a plate underneath to catch the sauce. How unceremonious. There we go. Now we're talking. And we want to kind of move fast because we don't want the chocolate to dry up before we get the and then this one, because this one got broken apart from its family, it's going to get a lot more love, I think. But look, I have so much more chocolate, and this was from 1 tablespoon of cacao powder. And you know you can't leave that plate. You have to eat the chocolate off of the plate. You know that, right? Of course you do. Of course you do. Okay, now, this is for me. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. So, you guys mind your own macros here when it comes to the hazelnuts, but you should know by now, if you don't already know, that hazelnuts are very low in carbs. So now I'm sprinkling it on, and I'll save the broken donut for the party donut that Journey wants. So, there we go. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. It looks delicious. Boop, 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 boop. Now, what color does Journey like? We're going to go with orange. There we go, Journey. This is for you. This is just colored erythritol. All right, so I'm gonna take a bite out of Journey so Journey knows how good it is. And then we're gonna call it a day. All right, so catch me. The Journey donut. All right. Here, Journey, take a bite. Good, huh? Yeah, Annie can cook. My turn. Mmm. That's really good. You guys, don't forget to like us on Instagram. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and click on the link on the the notifications bell. We're here to serve. And we did start this channel so that way we can help people learn how to eat healthier, even if it doesn't look like it, and still be able to enjoy life. We're trying to get you healthy one forkful at a time, and if this is the way we can do it, then that's the way we're going to do it. Check out our website, TheLuckyStove.com. I have started keto coaching, so you will see a link, or you'll see an addition to the website where it says Envision Health Shop. I have not opened up, but I'm taking clients right now, so that way we can get started in June. In any case, welcome to the club, guys. Thank you so much again for joining us at the Lucky Stove. May your stove bring luck or a coupon. But you don't need a coupon. Bye.
Okay, guys, don't forget to comment down below. Guys?